Welcome back, Slayers. It's time to go over the brand new Stasis Vortex frame sword, the Slammer, and it's actually pretty good. Find anything helpful today, be sure to spank that like button and subscribe because Ty1slayer creates educational content all the time. Rocking the exact same design as the Falling Guillotine though. Come on Bungie, give us new looks. The color mesh is the only difference in design. For this type of sword you're hunting for Jagged Edge, Heavy Guard or Sword, Master's Guard for the charge rate. If you can nab both, even better. Now in third column you have 3 strong possible choices. Chain Reaction. Each final blow creates an elemental explosion of that damage type, dealing 84 damage per D2 Foundry in a 3-meter radius. You also can get Eager Edge. Good old sword skating. Yes, you can skate with this beefy Falling Guillotine imposter. Finally, tried and true Relentless Strikes. Landing 3 powered hits within 2 seconds of each other grants 1 ammo. Moving on to fourth column. Due to this being a stasis sword, you have access to Cold Steel. Powered sword hits apply slow for 4.25 seconds. Light attacks apply 40 stacks, while heavy attacks apply 60. In today's gameplay, you'll see me use One for All, which is hitting 3 separate targets within 3 seconds of each. You get a 35% damage buff for 10 seconds, and we paired that up with Chain Reaction. Lastly, I would put Bait and Switch because it requires you to deal damage with all equipped weapons within 7 seconds to then get a 35% damage buff for 10 seconds. Now depending on how you rotate, you can actually get a little bit more damage out of Bait and Switch simply because you run Wither Horde for the damage over time when going to proc Bait and Switch. Really depends on the situation, because with the Slammer being a Vortex frame, if there's a lot of enemies, you can heavy attack for an easier proc for One for All. Let me know down below, what is your personal god roll for the Slammer? And how do you feel about the Corrupted being the GM that it takes to get it? And Bungie shafting us, not giving us double Nightfall drops for the Slammer or the Wild Style Grenade Launcher. If you made it this far, you're amazing. Make sure you have notifications on so you never miss a great upload. Due to this season and the seasonal artifacts, I want to quickly touch on these busted stasis artifacts that allow this sword to really be at maximum potential. So when these artifacts are gone, you may lose some of the goodness of it, but it should still be pretty good for the lower end to mid-tier content. Alrighty, so based on this season's artifacts, we have things like Kindling Trigger. Radiant causes solar weapons to apply Scorch to unscorched combatants. You opt to run this. We then have Torch. While Radiant, deal increased weapon damage to combatants affected by Strand and Stasis. We then have Flint Striker. Rapid solar weapon precision hits. Rapid solar weapon final blows. You grant Radiant. Pillar of Ice. Defeating a frozen target will spawn stasis crystals. We then have Hail the Storm. Shattering frozen targets and stasis crystals deal increased damage. Shattering stasis crystals will release shards of ice that damage and slow target. Then have Dragon's Bite. Breaking a combatant's shield with a strand or stasis weapon has a chance to suspend or freeze that combatant. And via this season, when you wear the Season of the Wish armor, it increases the chance. Now, I opt to use Aegir's Scepter for our exotic slot, with any final blows will slow nearby target. Any stasis final blows will transfer ammo to the weapon. Catalyst is also allowing us to drain super energy to overflow the mag. Pretty much get a bigger empowering beam of bonus damage. Ability to slow and freeze until the magazine or super energy runs out or weapon stowed. All of this really helps to keep everything debuffed via stasis. Now we have the Summoner Adept. Any solar auto, any solar weapon for that matter, will work. We just use this to proc Radiance and also get the extra Scorch. On our particular summoner role, I have Subsidence, so defeating any targets, I'll get a partial reload of the mag from reserves. We also have Incandescent, defeating a target to spread more Scorch to nearby enemies, as well as, if it's more of a powerful combatant, more Scorch in a larger radius. And then I throw on a minor spec to deal with the rank and file enemies. That's where you really see us use it. Allow you to kill those ones faster and start proccing Incandescent and spreading more Scorch. Finally, of course, the Slammer Adept. My particular one, I was tinkering with it between the Adept Big One spec, or you just throw on another impact call it a day. Of course, we have Chain Reaction and One for All, which we covered already. And then you do Vanguard's Vindication, so when you get any final blows, you get a small amount of health. It allows you to kind of keep running and slashing, so to speak. Now, I actually did it on the Stasis Warlock to make use of the cold snaps. With these, Osmiomancy Glove. The cold snaps have an additional charge, they recharge faster on impact, and have increased secret travel distance. So we keep everything stasis and frozen. We use Ice Flare Bolts. Shattering a frozen target will spawn Seekers that track and freeze other nearby targets. We then use Frost Pulse, so when we cast Rift, we'll create a little shockwave to freeze nearby combatants, keeping everything frozen. Fragments, we do Whisper of Fissures, increase damage and size the burst of stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. Do make sure to take keen of this section. This will be the unchanging section that is not affected by any artifacts. As of right now, all this stuff is just further amplified by the artifact. Then we do Whisper of Hedrons, dramatically increase weapon stability, aim assist, weapon airborne effectiveness, that's minor. The main thing here in PvE is the mobility, resilience, and recovery increase after freezing a target with stasis. We then run Whisper of Conduction, nearby stasis shards track to position. Mainly just run this for the plus 10 on Resil and Intellect. Lastly, Whisper of Chains. While you're near frozen targets or a friendly stasis crystal, you take reduced damage from targets. Plus you get another 10 recovery. Kind of round these stats off a bit more. Free to try it for yourself, take it in while you can, still make use of these artifacts. Now they may have shafted us, we have to do Corrupted right for the GM, but at the time of me recording this, via the Nightfall, via Guardian Games, was actually a pretty good one. I believe it's the Last City one or whatever. There's actually quite a bit of, ad density and close quarter combat to actually use the sword and really see these interactions take place. That is all. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one. We'll probably go over the Wild Style Grenade Launcher, so stay tuned for that.